Hello, thank you very much for being here again. I've decided I'm going to take you outside today because it's just such a wonderful day. I have actually spent all day walking around and preparing that video for you as well. I went to the center of Athens today, filmed a little bit of a market and some streets of Athens as well, because today we're going to be talking about grocery shopping, because this is something that I always want to know before I either travel somewhere or plan to stay somewhere for a little bit or even move to another place. How much actually does it cost to feed yourself? So I've decided to do that for you. There's not going to be a lot of talking head today, because I've actually got some videos for you as well of Athens, of the market, of me in the shop. I didn't film everything in the shop because they actually asked me to stop filming. I didn't know that it's not allowed here, but I did manage to film some stuff for you. But before we move on, my name is Pati. Welcome to my channel, The Timeless Traveler. And this is the channel when I just literally talk about my life as a traveler. And at the moment I am based in Greece, in Athens, so I talk a little bit about that as well. And I just talk about a lot of other things as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. Thank you for your wonderful comments under all of my videos. I'm so happy that you guys enjoying my videos. So today what I'm going to cover, I'm going to be talking about regular articles, regular products that you can buy in supermarkets, how much you can expect to pay for things like that, and also I will mention other ways you can get the produce, like farmers markets and stuff like that. And towards the end of the video as well, I'll tell you how much you can expect to pay in restaurants. I don't go to restaurants a lot yet but I've been to quite a few, and I've had a few friends coming to visit me here, so we went to see some Greek tavernas. And yeah, so I'll tell you how much you can expect to spend in the restaurant in Athens. Obviously it will be probably similar in other places in Greece, but in some places it will be cheaper, in some places will be more expensive, but you will get a rough idea. We're going to start with the actual groceries in the supermarket. There are many different supermarkets here in Athens. The prices are similar, but there are certain things that you can buy cheaper in one supermarket or more expensive in another one. Some things are buy in Lidl, some things are buy in supermarkets like the Sklavenitis. I really like the supermarket, but there's also other supermarkets like Bazaar or Galaxias, AB supermarket. Those are the ones that I remember from the top of my head. So very often I just go from one to another and I see what are the prices. But recently I also started going to like the farmers market. Today I went to one in the center of Athens, and I need to warn you because I went through the meat part and fish part. So if you're vegetarian, you might not want to watch this. Yes, so I'll show you everything. So what we're going to start with, with the supermarket. So now I'm going to show you roughly what are the prices and what I managed to film. So of course I started with the butter. So that's the cheapest butter, 2.49, and I'm talking butter, I'm not talking about margarine or whatever, because you can get margarine as cheap as €1, and then if you want a low pack it's 3.50. Those prices are crazy. I'm not buying a lot of butter, but I always find it a good indicator of the prices. Then of course you have a cheap pasta. This is filmed in Lidl, and pasta is always cheap, so if you want to save money you can always eat pasta. And as you can see, the prices are quite low. You can get something for €1.07, 1.65, 1.22. Of course, if you wanted really good quality pasta, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but they are still quite reasonably priced, and you can get even pasta spaghetti for 60 cents. Really good. Tomatoes here are not that excellent. I really thought the tomatoes here are going to be a little bit better quality, and yeah, but you can get them sometimes for a little bit over €2, sometimes a little bit under €2. Then you have your cucumbers, you know, just the regular stuff. Did you see €5 for a little box of tomatoes? This is crazy. And then of course food, or like food of poor people, cabbage. I eat cabbage a lot, but I love cabbage. You can do so many things with cabbage. So that is like 50 euro cents. Yes, 58 euro cents. But that's obviously priced for the kilogram. So you will end up paying €1, €1.50 for a whole cabbage. Then you've got your cauliflower, your broccoli. You can buy a lot of veggies here. If you're vegetarian, you can buy a lot of veggies here for quite good prices. Then, of course, you got the potatoes, and the potatoes, if I remember well, just around €1 per kilogram. And of course, yeah, 95 cents for the kilo of potatoes. And then you've got all the other veggies here. What I really like is that the courgettes, zucchini, wherever you are in the world, or eggplants, they're quite cheap here, and they're very light as well. So you can get a lot of zucchini, a lot of eggplant, and just cook your way away for quite low price. Peppers, those are quite expensive peppers. I actually managed to find some cheaper peppers, but look at those prices. This is mental. Mind you, those are for 1 kilogram. So, you know, if you get one pepper, it's going to be much cheaper. And this is great because you have an actual ready meal. They're really delicious, and you can get for like 3 or 4 or 5 euros. You can get the full meal, and of course you get the chicken. You can get the whole roasted chicken for €7.40. Sometimes on sale you can get it for 6 something. Those apples are quite expensive on the farmer market. I got apples for €1 or €1.50. So some things are cheaper on the farmers market, some things are more expensive. I've noticed that as well. Sometimes you can get fruit or veggies cheaper in the supermarket, but it's also about the quality. Citrus fruit are crazy cheap in Greece, which is a great thing if you like your oranges, mandarins, clementines, lemons, all these things. They dead cheap in here, and I've seen them cheaper than that. And then you have all the cheeses, meats, cold cuts, everything is here. Okay, now you've got the eggs, and those are quite expensive eggs as well, but those are better eggs, of course. The cheapest eggs I've found were €1.50 for 6 eggs. You can also get a pack of 12 eggs in Lidl for around €2.20, €2.30, and those are the feta cheeses, and those are really, really good. You buy them by weight, and some of them are really expensive, like 12, 13, 15 euros, but you can get them for 10, or you can even get some for 6, 7 euros, and they're amazing, wonderful. And the Greek yogurt, I didn't film the Greek yogurt because they stopped me, but you can also get feta cheese by package. But look, €5.50 for a feta cheese. That's not exactly cheap. That's the cheapest milk I've seen anywhere. I don't think I've seen cheaper milk anywhere else. So yeah, you have to go from one shop to another. And right after that, I've been stopped by the manager of the shop, and he kindly asked me to stop filming because I'm not allowed to film, which was crazy because I didn't even know that that's such a thing. But yeah, so those are the prices in this supermarket. Couple of days ago, I went to Lidl to do very, very, very small shopping because I am toward very end of my money this month. So I filmed really, really quickly what I bought for just under €20. So that's the one for you now. So I just came back from Lidl, and this is the kind of shopping that I do at the end of the month when I literally have no money. So I'll show you what I got for €20 in Lidl. So I got this bread. It was quite cheap. It was €1.25. Then I've got some milk, condensed milk, which I'm mixing with soy milk to have a coffee. Then I've got a bunch of tomatoes. Let me just open it for you. Here I have, it is around half a kilo of tomatoes. It's around 1 kilogram of red onions, and those are potatoes, and this is 2 kilograms of potatoes. Then it really, really broke my heart because I always buy olive oil but I just couldn't afford it, and I have to cook. So I just got like a regular oil, which is sunflower oil. I probably bought this type of oil for the first time in like 3 years. I swear, I never buy these oils. Then I got some organ meat. I know a lot of you guys probably don't eat these things, but we do eat that in Poland, and it's super cheap. It was only €1.50 for a whole packet. So I'm gonna make a really large stew with potatoes, with onions. I've got a couple of carrots, and I've got a little bit of cabbage left. Then I've got 6 eggs. I've got some mushrooms, and yes, I have indulged slightly, and I got myself a cheap bottle of wine. It was €2.30, and apparently it's a Malbec, so we'll see. But yeah, so it's not a lot of food, to be honest with you, but I can make meals together with the cabbage and carrots that I already have, and I have a couple of eggs left. I can definitely eat for 5 days, I would say, probably. Maybe I won't eat all the potatoes in 5 days, because that is a lot of potatoes. What do I have here? And eggs are not very... Eggs don't come from a very happy chickens, I'm afraid. Those were the cheapest eggs. The eggs were €1.50. The mushrooms were €1.20. It's a 1 kilogram of onions, which was €1. 2 kilo of potatoes, which was €2 altogether, was €1 per kilo. And the tomatoes were also €1, because I got the slightly better ones, because the big ones, they're just so not tasty. Just no point buying them. I paid €1 for these. These are really nice, because if I put them in my like egg omelette in the morning, it's super nice. I forgot to mention that I also bought this feta cheese, tomatoes, diced tomatoes, and tomato puree, because I am also planning to buy some beans, and I will make a bean stew as well. And last week, I think that was, or 2 weeks ago, I went to one of the farmers markets here in Athens. There's tons of them. There's lots of them. Every single neighborhood have their own. I went to one that is in Neos Cosmos, which is not the cheapest one. It's definitely not the cheapest one, but it was awesome because it's massive. It's massive. The so-called farmers market in Athens, it's called Laiki. I'm not even sure if it's called the same everywhere else in Greece. So if that's the case, please let me know in the comments. But as far as I know, in Athens, it's called Laiki. And the tip for you is, don't go too early in the morning, because if you go early in the morning, everything, all the prices are set. I mean, the prices change throughout the day. You will notice that they often have it on like a board where they can raise it and change the price. So towards the end of the day, when they really want to get rid of the produce, whatever they have left, the prices will go down. So I actually went there around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I forgot to get the cash out of the cash point. So I only had, and there was no cash point, there was no ATM machine anywhere nearby. But I had €10 in the wallet. So I've decided I'm just going to spend that €10 on whatever I can buy. And I was surprised how much I could buy. And this is not the cheapest farmers market in Athens. This is not the cheapest Laiki, but I did film a little bit what I got for that €10. But I got lots of vegetables. I remember I bought some onions and potatoes and carrots and broccoli. It was quite a lot of it, and every single time I would buy an apples. I bought some apples as well. I would just want, like, let's say 4 carrots. They would always put some more, because obviously that was the end of the day, so they wanted to get rid of the produce. But it's not like you got a kilo of something, you're gonna end up with kilo and something, because they always add some. So it was really cool. You can on those farmers markets, you can get a lot of things. You can also get eggs. Oh, I got the eggs. So I got the pack of 10 eggs. I got the eggs for 25 cents, but you can also get for 20, like, per egg. So you can actually get as many eggs as you want. I don't think anybody buys like 2 eggs, but I'm pretty sure that if you really want it, you could buy 2 eggs as well. But you can buy as many as you want, and the prices of eggs ranged between 20 to 30 euro cents per egg. all this produce I got for 10 euros. But if you choose your liking wisely, which I'm going to do, I'm going to test different ones, you can definitely get more than that just for 10 euros. Olive oil is really expensive for Greece. I thought the olive oil here is going to be really cheap. I have heard that this is mostly because there was a lot of wildfires, a lot of olive trees got damaged, and the oil prices really went up. But the cheapest olive oil I managed to buy, and it's obviously not the best olive oil, it was 5 euros, a little bit over 5 euros for a 1 liter bottle. If you go to the farmers market, you get a really good olive oil for around 10 euros for 1 liter. It's crazy expensive. And then things like meat and fish are surprisingly expensive. I was very surprised. I thought that the fish here is in abundance, so I am quite surprised how expensive it is, but it could be cheaper on maybe some smaller islands, less touristy islands, or it could be cheaper somewhere around the coast of the mainland Greece, because I covered things like the milk and bread and things like that. But when it comes to bread, of course, it's much cheaper to buy bread in the supermarket, but we all know that this bread is not always the type of bread you really want to eat or should be eating. But there's loads of really amazing bakeries. Bakeries in Athens, in Greece in general, are to die for. You buy the bread by the weight. They bake this massive sourdough, either white or brown bread, and they cut it for you and they put it on a scale. It's just so good. This is my favorite bread. It's a little bit of an indulgence because this is not the cheapest. So I buy it maybe twice a month, but if I buy it once, I have it for at least a week. There is a bakery downstairs, just like 5 minutes away from my house. And you can buy a big loaf of sourdough, and that will cost you 3 euros something, but it's amazing bread. It's really amazing quality. And of course, if you go to bakeries, you can buy all this really tasty pastries. They look very much like the bureks in Balkans, but they called something pita always, like spanako pita, or I know I said it wrong, by the way, because I just said it from the top of my head and I completely didn't get ready for this. Please leave a note in the comments, like how should I actually been saying this. But they filled with spinach and cheese, which is my favorite. The cheese ones are really good as well, but you can have them with meat as well and tons of other things, and those are quite cheap. You can get them for 2.50, sometimes 3, sometimes 2.20, and they really filling. You could have one for breakfast and one for lunch, and you sorted for 5 euros per day. You know what I mean? Because they are really, maybe not necessarily, maybe you want to eat something else as well, because it's just bread with filling, but they're really good. So the bakeries here are amazing. And then also you have a lot of this little small local, they're not really tavernas or restaurants, they're more like small local restaurants where it's a little bit like a buffet. They display the traditional dishes. I did film one today very briefly because I was passing one today that I definitely want to come back to, and I actually took a menu, so I'm going to tell you in just a moment how much things are. But you see the things, you see them. You have like stuffed peppers, stuffed aubergines, moussaka, this I forgot the name of the dish, but it's a little bit like a lasagna, but I think it's better than lasagna. I'm sorry, Italians, I am so sorry, but I love lasagna too. But it's different. It's with just the regular pasta, and it also is with the mincemeat, and it's really nice. But then you can get some fish, some chicken, you can get some potatoes, stews, whatever you like, and you just get a portion of it, and the portion can cost as little as 4.50, and that's a meal. So if you wanted, you can just leave off that as well. But let me grab this menu that I got today from that little place where I definitely want to go back to, and I tell you how much the prices are there in just a moment. I'm back. So yes, I will have to put the glasses on because unfortunately I cannot read. So the thing is, This place is called, I have no idea because it's all in Greek, but it's really cool. So let me see what they have. Oh my god, this is all in Greek. This is really bad. But why she gave me? Yes, this is all in Greek. I'll show you if you want to see. Okay, so you see, this is how it's written, but you see the prices. Kataiki. Okay, let me try and read some of them. Makarovia. Okay, the prices here are between between the cheapest stuff that I see here is €4.50. Spanakotu. I'm trying. Spanakoturopita. $4.50. I have no idea. But I think when I'm looking at this menu, it looks like this is an actual menu from the restaurant. But those, but I assume that in this place, there, if you get just a dish for takeaway, you're probably gonna pay around €6-7. But in the supermarket, especially in some of the big supermarkets, you can actually get the whole meal for like €4.50-5. And finally, if you want to go to the restaurant, of course you can pay as little or as much as you prefer to pay, or depending on the restaurant. But just a regular Greek taverna, which in my opinion is the best anyway, because you get amazing service, you get delicious food, really good wine. You can get dishes starting from things like €6.50-7 all the way up to 12-13, or like even 25 if you want to have a steak, of course. But if you want to have a moussaka or some other traditional dish, you will pay anything between €6 and €10. And then of course there is a wine. The wine here is served often in the carafes, which is really funny because if you look at a lot of the menus, they actually sell it by kilograms. Which I found really funny. My friend was here last weekend, and we went to the taverna just here nearby. And when we look at the menu for the wine, it was per kilogram, which is basically a liter. But it's so funny because I've never been served the wine per kilogram, and it sounds bad as well, because if you feel like you drank a liter of wine, it doesn't sound as bad as you drank a kilogram of wine. I don't know, maybe it's just in my head. So the glass of wine is something like €3.50 or €4, and then you can get like a carafe of 1 liter of wine for around €10. So this is like in a normal taverna. But you can also go, there's lots of these little places where you can get souvlaki or gyros, the traditional meat dish. The gyros, which is like in a pita bread with some chips and with some veggies, of course, and you can get it as cheap as €3.50 as well, or you can pay a little bit more, $4.50. But then I'm not gonna go any higher, because then the sky is the limit. If you go to Michelin star restaurant, or I don't know, whatever type of fancy restaurant you want, of course the prices are gonna be up. But what I want to say here is how little you can pay in the restaurant if you really want it. So as you can see, the prices are not as low as you would think, considering how little people are actually earning here. But that's a story for a completely different video. I am not going to be going into this right now. But yes, this is basically what I wanted to tell you about the prices, just in case, I don't know, maybe you're coming on vacation and you want to know how much to budget for the vacation. Obviously, this is a bit harder for me to say because I'm not here on the vacation, I'm not splurging around. But if you came here on a budget and you want to know how much do you need to spend on food, you can have a breakfast from bakery for €2.50. You can go to taverna, and if you don't drink alcohol, you can have a meal for €7, and then you can have the same for the dinner if you want to. So I would say probably if you only eat out, meaning in the restaurants, you would have to account for anything between €15 to €20 per person per day if you're here on a vacation. However, if you want to move in here, of course, you can make it cheaper if you cook. And of course, there's lots of other costs that you need to take into the consideration if you want to live here, of course, like transport and chemicals for the house, but this is not what I'm gonna go into right now. I just wanted this video to make purely about how much money do you need to feed yourself in Greece. So if you think I haven't covered something or I missed some very important product, please let me know. I will put it in the comments and I'll tell you how much it is, or I can go and check for you. So stick around because I will be making some videos about Greece. This channel is not mainly about Greece, but I know that you guys like these videos, so I will definitely be making some Greece content, especially as I start going into other places as well. I definitely will, because you know I'm a traveler. But yes, thank you so much for being here, for clicking on this video. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. It really helps. I'm really grateful to all of you that already subscribed. Like this video as well. Give me a thumbs up, because that definitely helps the algorithm and helps me grow. So I thank you very much for being here. I'm just gonna end it now because I'm just gonna mumble for another half an hour. Please have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.